Hello everyone, I'm coming to you with another new team. Another thing I've been trying out today has been Zebstrika. At the start of the season I had a look at it, didn't think very much of it because I couldn't make a very good thing of it. Today I've had a bit more practice, and one of the things that's really changed with Zebstrika to make it, not quite so terrible, is the entry to the meta of Galvantula. You heard it here first. The basic meta line this season includes Galvantula. It's probably Galarian Stunfisk, Galvantula and Azumarill. So with that in mind, one of the things that gets particularly interesting is something that can have play against all three. Zebstrika between electric damage and resisting the electric moves of Galvantula, and the flame damage to basically deal super effective in return, as well as super effective against Galarian Stunfisk, and of course the electric damage against Azumarill. That means it's got some play against all three. It is very squishy though. It's a glass cannon and really does work best when you can give it both shields. So this is the first of two teams I've tried with it. The other was basically a very standard Galarian Stunfisk and Azumarill. In this team, we've got Dewgong and Medicham. You won't see those too often, I think mostly because they're absurdly expensive. Medicham needs to be maxed out really, and so it's a level 40, and you need as high an IV as possible. Dewgong, similarly, doesn't need to be particularly high level, but it does need 2 elite TMs, so it's also quite expensive. And this one's a shiny, so I like to show off a little bit. But with that in mind, let's kick off some matches. I have to say my experiences were somewhat mixed with Zebstrika. You'll see as this plays out that it goes down very fast indeed when it's in an adverse alignment. So, off we go into the first match. Again, a little bit of lag on startup. I don't know if anyone else has been seeing that. We've got a Whiscash. Whiscash is one of the things that Zebstrika really doesn't like, so we're going to try and keep it away by keeping its alignment with the Medicham. We're going to go straight into Sidekick in the hope that they just decide not to shield it. Again, a bit more stall. I don't know if that's a screen recording. Anyway, hit with the thing. We go for a switch and they go for a switch. Dewgong versus a shiny Houndoom, which is, quite shiny. We're going to throw our Icy Wind that hopefully will get a shield off them because they resist it. And there we go. We've lowered their attack. Their flame damage is neutral to us because we've got the water and ice cancelling out the super effective and neutral. Foul play incoming. That's going to do us some damage, but again, we're going to drop another Icy Wind. Doesn't really matter if they shield this or not, we're just going to stick with it, and then we're going to go for probably a water move just to finish the job. It's got no shields left. We've got a choice now, do we let this land or not? I'm going to go with letting this land, and we don't quite die from it, but it's still not enough for them to take us out. So we're going to bring back the Medicham back in again, which hits super effective against it, finish the job. And again, in comes the Whiscash, and we're going to let this Mud Bomb land. One of the joys of Medicham is it's fairly chunky, so we will be able to hopefully finish the job on this Whiscash. Knocks a bit off with Power Up Punch and finish it with counters. Now in comes Meganium. This is one of the places where something like a Zebstrika starts to really shine, because Electric is resisted by Grass, but we have Flame Charge, and we have a shield on our side. So we're going to quickly build up to that Flame Charge. Not all that quickly, we need to use a shield. I don't know how much damage the Frenzy Plant would have done, but it's going to be close to all of it. Flame Charge coming back the other way. Finishing off, we only got one charge move on the Zebstrika, but I think that was kind of decisive. Good game to my opponent. Same again. I wouldn't switch teams on you without telling you. I do sort of splice these matches together to try and get a decent running order, and sometimes I will drop some that have been bugged or whatever, but I try and go for a 5 set. Right, Medicham to Scrafty. Great start for us because it's vulnerable to fighting. Let's switch to Azumarill. Out comes a Zebstrika, which has the wild charge. That'll hopefully get his attention. Still, we're going to let the Icy Beam land, partly to see how much it hurts. The answer is quite a lot. That was neutral damage, so it's really done us a lot of pain. We're going to go for a Discharge, and now I have switched moves partway through, and you'll probably notice that, but it doesn't matter because it got blocked. And then it went down. It didn't even get to 2, even with, that's how squishy it is. But that's okay because we've got the Dewgong to bring in and pick on the Azumarill. This is a winning match for the Dewgong, because, particularly if they don't have play rough, because I can Icy Wind them and just gradually reduce their attack whilst resisting all their moves. There is still mine, but that's okay, because that plays in our favour. Icy Wind adds up and just chisels away at their damage. So we're not going to shield this one, and as you can see, Ice Beam just doesn't do any good there. Scrafty comes back in, that does cause us problems, but we've still got our Medicham, and we hit for super effective against them. Their Power Up Punch, not very effective. Their Foul Play is going to be neutral, because the Psychic and the Fighting cancel out. And we've got a great opportunity to farm them for energy whilst power punching ourselves into being supercharged. And there we go, another power up punch, and we're going to throw one back at them. We could save the energy perhaps, but this gives us another boost, so we're going to go for another one. Onto the back row, out comes their Galarian Stunfisk. That's also not a good matchup for a Medicham. They're going to be taken apart by power up punches again. I had toyed with loading up a Psychic because I'm thinking I'm almost at the maximum I can power up, doing double damage. But this is just bad news for them, and the fact that they brought it out means whatever's in the back, well, it's the Azumarill, so it's not got much left. We can batter that down. Bring out the Galarian Stunfisk again. It's all over now. Medicham's really a monster when you get the power up punches going, and it's quite sturdy as well, which is why it's quite a popular choice. It's basically limited by the fact that it's just so expensive to use. Thank you, well played. Right, so next up we have another bit of loading lag. Clefable. This is not good for us. Clefable and Medicham don't get on well together, so we'll try and switch to the Dewgong. They switch out and bring in their Raichu. That hits us for super effective, but our Icy Winds will get their attention returned. So off we go with the Icy Wind. It lands, it takes a huge chunk off, and it reduces their attack. They're going to return with electric damage. I'm fearing a wild charge here, so I put the shield up. It was only a Thunder Punch, but Thunder Punches is still going to hurt. So we just let the extra debuff take care of it, and shield the next Thunder Punch coming through, again for the same reason. But we're taking the opportunity to build up some Icy Winds. So whilst we're down 2 shields, we are also in a position where we might be able to make a good thing of this still. Out comes their Obstagoon, and straight into the Icy Winds. That's going to be causing some problems because counter damage is super effective to Dewgong, but a double debuffed Obstagoon means that we can hopefully finish the job with our Medicham and then build up a energy lead in order to take on the rest of the team. But we are still down on shields, so this is not a good place to be. We'll bring out the Medicham again, and the Clefable comes back just at the right time to catch the power up punch, and when we used all our energy. So we go into Zebstrika. They've got a shield against us. That's not going to go well, and I've just about built up to 2 wild charges, but I'm not actually sure I've got enough to get one in before that charm lands. And I don't. I nearly got the 2, and that might have finished the job. But now it's probably game over. I'm not doing super effective to them, and yeah, super effective Dazzling Gleam comes in. I'm not sure why they used that over Moonblast, but it's a solid choice, and it's taken me out. Next up, Zapdos. Shadow Zapdos, in fact. Now this is an interesting one, because I figured I'd bring my electric in to face their electric flying. I'm going to be doing neutral and resisting theirs. I don't know at this point why they didn't switch. I'm going to take a bit of a gamble and not shield. A resisted Drill Peck has still taken off well over half my health, but I'm going to throw a Flame Charge back. I'm pretty sure they're going to shield this, which is why I'm going with Flame Charge, because I might as well get the boost. Again, another move incoming. I can't afford not to shield this. It'll probably be another Drill Peck, and I'm going to build up to a Wild Charge, and they switched on me, but just in time for Medicham to catch it, so we'll see if that lands. And look at that, it's taken off a massive chunk on that Medicham, so only one landed, but it's done a lot of good there. I bring my Medicham out in return and finish them off, and we'll see what else comes out. Zapdos comes back. That Zapdos is very frail, so we will carry on and just power up punch it. This will be resisted, but it just doesn't matter. It'll still get a shield, and we should be able to finish off with counter damage. We don't want the Drill Peck to land. That will do super effective and probably take us out in one hit, so we shield it. Now we've got 2 to 1, and it's a Crawdaunt. So that's vulnerable to fighting damage as well. That's bad news for them. Their dark damage will only be doing neutral to us, but they're using Waterfall, so it's got a slow charge rate. Thank you, good game. As you can see, the Zebstrika doesn't hit very often because it's just not got the durability to get many charge moves out. But when it can land even a single wild charge, it does a lot. Here's a Galvantula. Here's part of the reason I have Zebstrika. I'm going to bring it out to go face to face with the Galvantula. They're almost certainly going to lunge at me now, and as you can see, wow, look at that. And they've brought in their fire type. So we're going to throw a wild charge back. This is neutral. Hopefully this will land. They shield it. So we've got a shield, but we've not done really much else apart from take a shield and force a switch. So we bring out the Dewgong. We're not in a good place here. Dewgong is neutral to fire, but it's being resisted by it. And their bone clubs, the shadow balls, they're going to be causing us problems. So we're just going to go for a water pulse and hope. No, they beat us to it. So what have we got incoming? A shadow ball. That's hurting us, and so we're just going to return fire with a water pulse. This will probably get a shield from them, and it does. So we've got double shield lead, but we're still in a bit of a sticky position because we've got, well, a low health Dewgong and a Medicham. So we are going to shield because we can't afford to let anything land here, and we're going to go straight into a psychic, which should hopefully, oh no, sorry, a power punch. Power punch first, psychic second. So we do a more powerful psychic and maintain the damage for next. Perhaps that was a misplay, because it does mean the next lunge has landed. So the boost from the power punch has just been cancelled out. That's unfortunate. But either way, psychic is stab, and it does quite a good amount of damage. Even though bug type it does super effective to psychics, it doesn't resist it. And next up, the Marowak comes out again. I'm kind of rushing this. I'm hoping I can land a psychic on the Marowak, but I don't think I'm going to manage it in time. So the Bone Club comes through, and they don't quite take us out, so they get to farm us a little bit, and that's probably what's made the difference here. Pushing with a psychic, not quite. At this health level, we're going to not last really through anything. Although even so, Bone Club doesn't quite finish the job. We got to the psychic, but didn't quite make it. That was a close one, I think. So there we go. A few matches for you. Hopefully you enjoyed those. Kept it short and sweet. Zebstrika is one of these ones that seems to work very well as the back row sweeper. It can put out a lot of damage between wild charge and flame charge, and it's got some broad coverage there. So if they bring out a grass or a ground type that resists your wild charges, the flame charge still hits them for neutral. And in particular, if they bring out a Galvantula or a Galarian Stunfisk, well, you've got super effective in your favour. That's always quite nice as a coverage option. I'm not entirely sold on whether it's going to stay in my team, but I'm going to carry on playing with it a little bit, and hopefully I'll have another one for you tomorrow where I'm going to try out a little bit more conventional Galarian Stunfisk, Azumarill and Zebstrika. Thanks for watching.